absolute cinema, absolute Iran Kunda, absolute Conor Metcalf, absolute Harry Beach. Are you freaking kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed an absolute stunner in Vancouver as the Socceroos have taken out dark horses, powerhouse nation Türkiye 2-0. And I may have just lost 5 to 10 years of my life. My blood pressure is probably through the roof. I mean, that was the craziest game I've watched in a long time. From the neutral's perspective, maybe it doesn't hit as hard, but as a Socceroos fan, first and foremost, that was special, man. If you're looking for apt, neutral analysis off the back of today's match, you might want to look elsewhere if I'm being completely transparent, because I'm definitely going to be viewing these through Socceroos tinted glasses, obviously, but there is so much to talk about with this match, because not only have the Socceroos defeated a powerhouse country, but the manner at which they did it, the resiliency, the discipline, the defensive prowess on display. It was a Harambe masterclass for some. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. If I'm a Türkiye fan, I'm absolutely raging. But before we go in, we got to first talk about the team selections today, because this was an absolute bombshell call from Tony Popovic, dropping the Socceroos captain Matthew Ryan off the back of an incredible season with Levante, the skipper of the team, 100+ caps to his name in the form of his life. And who does he bring in? Patrick Beach, who I didn't even anticipate as the second choice keeper, let alone Matty Ryan. Like, you look at all the social media activity following the team news being dropped, and the Australian collective conscience was just stunned. They couldn't believe it. It was, if any player was a shoo-in to start for me, it would have been him. But nonetheless, he came into the side. 10 of the Socceroos 11 starters today had never featured in a World Cup prior to this match. The only one being none other than Harry Suter, the man that barely plays club football because he's almost always injured. But every time the World Cup rolls around, this man is fit, firing and leading from the back. An absolute colossus of a figure. He's the type of player that I can't fathom how he hasn't gone further in his career, because every time he plays for the country, he is truly outstanding. But as I said, 10 of the starting 11 today, they're making their first appearance for the Socceroos. As for Türkiye, look, a very strong side. The only surprise, but not really in a sense, was that Kenan Yildiz started from the bench. I believe he was recovering from a calf injury, so he wasn't fully fit. In his place, Yilmaz started. Thank God, because he was abysmal. But back to the Socceroos, because who cares about Türkiye? Who cares about these bums? The big thing for me was today seeing Nestori Irankunda given the starting nod. All the talk in the build-up was about, is Popper going to back the man, or is he going to be too pragmatic? Is he going to go so Harambe that we're just giving up on trying to score altogether? This is the type of game that Irankunda had to play. He is our star boy, and although he's a bit raw and not the finished article, there's no one in this team that can replicate the things he does on a football pitch. None have that X-factor talent to the degree that Irankunda does. But we get into the game, and look, as expected, Türkiye dominating the match. Technically, they are an outstanding team. Players like Çalhanoğlu, obviously Arda Güler, he's probably the pick of the bunch. But yeah, 1-11, very, very strong. They knew what they were in for. They knew that they were going to dominate the game. Çalhanoğlu came into this match literally saying, we're the better team, we're going to dominate. And that rubbed a lot of Aussies the wrong way. I personally didn't have any problems with it because he's correct. I mean, that is the objective reality. Türkiye on paper have more quality. I believe their squad's valued at like 600 million euros in comparison to Australia's 100 mil. So the guy's not lying, but nonetheless, Australia struggled initially. They were on the back foot. Even Patrick Beach, his first couple touches, he looked very, very nervous in goal. I was terrified for him, to be honest. You know, he's 22 years of age, thrown in the deepest of ends in an opening World Cup game for the Socceroos. This guy plays in the A-League, you know, and that's no disrespect. I love seeing an A-League player represent the green and gold, you know, fantastic. So many of our starting 11 came from the A-League, but to be given that sort of responsibility as a keeper as well, it's that type of position that if it goes wrong, you can look like a fool in front of hundreds of millions of people. So I can only imagine the nerves coming into this game for Harry Beach, but thankfully, you know, he dusted off the cobwebs early on, got some decent early saves under his belt, and then the game sprung to life because the Socceroos, they weathered the storm. In fact, the breakthrough moment came off the back of a save from Ardagula. Jordi Boss receives the ball, hits it to Iran Kunda over the top. And then, take a bow, man. Take a freak. Are you kidding me? Nestori, the ability to not only skin his defender, but to then put it through the center back, send him for a hot dog, keep his composure, and then finish so effortlessly, so calmly. This is a 20-year-old kid, man. The youngest Socceroo to ever score at a World Cup. Truly an iconic moment in itself. And not only that, he then proceeds to hit the Timmy Cahill on the corner. This man just gets what it means to represent the green and gold. He is like a national icon to the people of Australia. Like, honestly, Iran Kunda for PM, I love this man. If there was anyone I wanted to score today, it was him because no other Socceroo has ever made me feel the way that Iran Kunda does when he's on the football pitch. He is excitement personified, and we've had some incredible talents over the years, some great wingers, if we're talking about technically brilliant players, a Harry Kewell or an Aaron Moy, these guys are unbelievable, but in terms of explosive pace and just this freakish ability to pull a rabbit out of the hat, there's none like Iran Kunda. Him and Toure were causing all sorts on the counter. Jordi Boz as well, up and down, as expected. This man, he's destined for big things, and he's like Iran Kunda. It's only the start of his international and European career. He's been killing it at Feyenoord, so to see him absolutely boss it in a World Cup game, you love to see it. But we go in halftime, 1-0. Pop a masterclass in that first half. But I was nervous, man. I was so nervous because you could tell that Turkey were going to come out in the second half. Yildiz came in immediately. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a long 45 minutes ahead. And it was. That second half, that was painful to watch at times because Turkey were so intricate with their passing, so dangerous in the edge of the box. There's so much technical ability amongst their ranks. They are many people's dark horses for a reason. I don't think they played all that bad today. I think defensively, they're not great, clearly. They weren't terrible. They just couldn't break down this great wall at the back with Harry Suter in the middle, Chirkati on the right, Burgess on the left. It was such a stellar performance by all three, and the wing-backs, of course. Italiano was brilliant. But from about 50 minutes to 70-odd minutes, it was painful. It was absolutely painful. We did not have any of the ball. Turkey were just pumping shots on goal. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, that save in the first half from Harry Beach, ridiculous. And in the second half, he only got better. With every save, his confidence grew. There was a really good effort in the second half from Celik. He tried to put one past him at the near post, denied, off of free kicks, parried some good saves. He just didn't put a foot wrong. I don't have enough praise for this guy. What he did on his Socceroos World Cup debut, it will be talked about for generations. Honestly, that was an unbelievable performance, both in terms of the saves, but also having the mental fortitude to really step up in that moment. Truly a stellar performance. And for the rest of the game, the Socceroos dug deep, man. They held on. Was it pretty? No, but this is a Socceroos, man. So many people wrote this team off before a ball was even kicked, but because people just view the games through spreadsheets. If you've been following the Socceroos over the years, you'll know that this team is no easy pushover. We've now won 3 World Cup group stage games in a row. We beat Denmark, we beat Tunisia in 2022, and then we eased past Denmark. People got to stop disrespecting this national team because, okay, sure, it's a young crop of players, but their mentality, their discipline, their willingness to fight for the shirt, I don't know if there's another nation in this tournament that matches us in that regard. We know we don't have the superstars that some other nations have, but let me tell you, we've got some real dangerous players in this squad. We've got some real firepower going forward. And best of all, man, we have an absolute brick wall at the back. If you're going to beat the Socceroos, it's going to take something special. Honestly, that was an incredible watch. Tony Popovic, take a freaking bow, man. To have the conviction to make such a selection gamble and for it to pay off in the way that it did, fantastic. But the fact that you also trusted Iran Kunda, I was unsure whether you were going to give him the start today. I thought you were going to be overly pragmatic and opt for, I don't know, a Valupale or someone like that. You didn't. You trusted in your young superstar, and it paid dividends. As for the rest of the World Cup, I have no idea what to expect. We take on the US next game. That is going to be a seismic task based off of what they produced yesterday. If you didn't watch them, man, do yourselves a favor and watch that first half. That was one of the best first half performances I've seen from any team at a World Cup. I am being so serious. It brings me no joy to say that. You know, you think I enjoy glazing the Yanks? Absolutely not. But let me tell you, I don't know what Pochettino's been cooking of late, but they looked unreal. They are going to be a huge task, a huge challenge for the Socceroos. But considering we just defeated Türkiye 2-0, and let's be honest, sure, they created chances, but they didn't actually create that much from open play. Like, there was only one pop shot from outside the box and one or two breakaways and one decent chance at the near post, a couple shots from range. Apart from that, the Socceroos were so disciplined. They were so it was just such a defensively perfect performance. Truly, Getafe's coach Bordalas, he would be frothing at the mouth having watched that. Arteta could never, basically. Last thing on Popovic, people forget what he did with the Western Sydney Wanderers. People forget that this man won an Asian Champions League with a club that had only existed for like 2 years, defeating an Al Hilal side full of superstars. What he accomplished in the AFC kind of gave me the belief that he could replicate something on the international stage. Now, granted, it's only one match day. There's still so much football, you know, by all means, we could easily lose the next 2 games. I'm not entirely confident of a result against the US, but we could also lose to Paraguay. Like, they're going to be no bums either. This lot beat Brazil, Uruguay, and Argentina in qualifying. So we have to respect our opponents, but off the back of that, I've got so much belief, man. I've got so much belief in this team, and regardless of what happens, regardless of whether we win the next 2 games or not, that was a special moment. That was one of the best footballing experiences I've ever had in my life. Just last thing on Türkiye, and obviously they'll be incredibly disappointed. What a disaster of a result for them. They now need to win at least one of their remaining 2 games, neither of which will be easy tasks. Defensively, I'm not convinced with this team. I mean, the only positives, I guess hopefully Yildiz will return to full fitness in the next game. On top of that, when does Uzun be given an opportunity? Eintracht Frankfurt's number 10. This guy's a baller. I want to see him get a chance to play because, quite frankly, there's a missing piece there. This team frequently has the label of dark horses, but at Euros competitions, they haven't exactly thrived. I know they made it out the group stages in 2024, but they weren't incredible at that tournament. And, you know, they haven't been at a World Cup in 24 years. So I'm not sure if this team has the experience and the mental qualities required to really deliver on the world stage, because ability-wise, it's all there. You know, technically, they've got some of the best players at the entire tournament, but their desire was nowhere near Australia's today. What else can I say? I mean, I feel like I didn't give enough props to this team. Shout out Italiano. Shout out Aiden O'Neill. Shout out Connor Metcalf too. I forgot about the second goal. Connor Metcalf. Are you kidding me? That moment was unbelievable. The way he picks up the ball, drives at goal, takes an extra touch, and just perfectly slots it home. Oh my God. Game, set, a match. You know, thanks for coming. What a moment, man. Shout out to the Socceroos fans in Vancouver. Shout out to the substitutes that came on. Shout out to Yangi coming off the bench and Valupale causing all sorts. Man, I love my football team. I love my international team. Like, nothing beats it. Nothing beats the World Cup. It truly is a spectacle. And yeah, that right there, that result was for the history books. But hey, we're just getting started, baby. We'll humble the Yanks. We'll take out Paraguay. And then, yeah, like I said, we're going all the way. Anyways, guys, if you stuck around till the end, thanks so much for watching. DMAC Daily dropping in a couple of hours, a bit later today because of all the match reviews. But nonetheless, stay tuned. And I'll see you next time. Come on, the Socceroos!